Hi everyone, it's Charlie Cichetti, and I just wanted to give you an update so far in 2018. What industry trends are we seeing? What are some stats on Well and Fitwell and LEED, and are the LEED exams changing? So here we are in July 2018. Want to just kind of get you updated. What's going on with this green building and now wellness movement? First, let's talk about some LEED statistics. Yes, LEED is going strong. It is still the premier program if you want your building stamped as a green building. You go through that process. LEED for new construction, BD plus C on that side. LEED for existing buildings, a lot of growth on greening of our existing building stock, operating green every day. Tenant improvements left and right coming in for LEED for commercial interiors, or ID plus C, interior design and construction. So a lot of growth with LEED, especially internationally, as you've probably seen from some of our previous webinars. You know, with the newer leadership at the GBES over the last couple of years, Mahesh, he's really trying to grow LEED internationally. Actually, about 40% of all LEED projects registered to go for a LEED certification right now, they're actually outside the US. I think it's awesome. I actually had the privilege of being a part of Greenbuild Europe back in April. That was in Berlin. First of all, what a cool city. A lot of ecotourism there, and I really enjoyed being a part of that conference. We're seeing Greenbuild conferences now in India, in China, in Mexico, and I hope to see some of you, let me know if you're going, at Greenbuild in Chicago, and that's the big one. That's over 20,000 people getting together every year here in the US. But my point is, we're seeing a lot of staff being added to GBCI. And then the U.S. Green Building Council really continuing to advocate for LEED as the international standard. If you're going to design or build or operate green, you've got to follow a more rigorous standard. We're seeing LEED have a lot of success there. Every day, the statistic is, on average, there's about 2.2 million square feet of LEED projects certified. So that's a lot of projects. So we're seeing growth internationally with LEED, big push from the staff and the leadership at the USGBC and GBCI. Take a look at some of the Greenbuild conferences around the world in your region, and I hope to see you in Chicago at Greenbuild in November. That's November 14th through 16th. So those are some updates with the LEED movement as far as projects. Now let's take a look at LEED professional credentials. You know, LEED's been around for the last 18 years. We're on to LEED version 4, and maybe I'll talk in a minute about LEED version 4.1. But as far as the professional credentials, we have over 200,000 LEED professionals in the world. It's amazing. I think it's awesome. And we've been helping professionals for over 10 years prepare for and pass LEED exams. You want to take a look at this website. This is called LEED Professionals at a Glance, okay? You can scroll down, you can take a look by country. How many LEED professionals are there in my country, in my region? And you can actually take a look how many are LEED Green Associate, how many are LEED AP BD plus C. So I think it's fantastic. If you take a look, there's about 100,000 legacy LEED APs. They passed the exam before June of 2009 when LEED version 3 rolled out with all the exam changes. But you can take a look. Who's specialized? Who's taken one of those LEED version 3 or LEED version 4 exams and is keeping up their continuing education? This is a great resource. I want to make sure everybody has access to it. Again, this is LEED Professionals at a Glance, and the latest numbers are as of April of this year, April 2018. Let's talk a little bit about LEED version 4.1. LEED and the USGBC, they've done this before. I remember way back when I was working for a large real estate developer, and before that a contractor, there was LEED version 2.1, LEED version 2.2 for new construction, NC version 2.2. And so that's what's happening right now. Some of you are getting some emails, you're reading some articles, you're seeing not just LEED version 4, okay, but LEED version 4.1. Well, as of right now, LEED version 4.1 has been announced and it's out for O&M, for existing buildings. There's some interesting changes that the USGBC is proposing there. I actually have a lot of experience, me and my team, working on LEED for existing building projects. And so we like some of the changes, but some are like, oh, I don't know about that. So we've provided feedback. But LEED version 4.1 is going to be announced for new construction and commercial interiors and other programs later this year as Greenbuild, November of this year, comes out. So right now you can take a look at LEED version 4.1 for existing buildings, and hopefully you have some projects that would want to go through that program, a little more accommodating on several of the LEED credits. But in a few months, you're going to see LEED version 4.1 suggested changes for the new construction world and some of those design and build LEED rating systems. Okay, so take a look. One thing that's really important for you to note is that all of us that have USGBC membership, our companies are USGBC members. Like, we have a voice. And so make sure you're sending in your feedback as it's appropriate for the suggested changes so you have a voice in the next iteration of LEED. As far as the LEED and the WELL exams, technically GBCI every summer around June, July, they reserve the right to edit the exams, to change some questions. Now, as history shows, when there's a major update to LEED, say from LEED version 3 to LEED version 4, then they do rewrite a lot of the exam. That's not happening right now. So if you're studying for a LEED exam, we're on top of it here at GBES to update our material, our practice tests or flashcards. The LEED exams in the summer of 2018, no major updates, maybe some minor tweaks. The WELL exam, if you're studying for the WELL AP right now and you take the exam after August 12th, 2018, the exam material will be based on updates through Q1 of 2018, okay? It's still WELL version 1, and I know that's what's tough as you're studying for these exams, and then you're working on projects. Exam World, for WELL AP, you need to know WELL version 1 and some updates through Q1 2018 addenda. And you'll be good on that for the next year, okay? Don't worry about WELL version 2 for your exam. Worry about that for feasibility on actual projects. As far as LEED, like I said, and we're on top of it, we'll update you with material as needed, but it should be minor tweaks in the summer of 2018. Stay the course, keep going with your study material, and you're gonna do great. Now let's take a look at some learning. So building on the LEED professional credentials, there's actually over 86,000 professionals that have chosen to take or opt in to one of the latest and greatest versions of LEED. And we have amazing continuing education on our website, in our CE library. I want to make sure you know we don't just help you pass the LEED exam, but we have amazing continuing ed, and we actually report that. We can help you and on your behalf report your hours to the USGBC. But right now there's about 36,000 LEED Grain Associates, almost 40,000 LEED AP BD plus C, 694 LEED AP Homes. But we're seeing growth in the LEED Homes rating system. About 3,000 LEED AP ID plus C. I get this question a lot. Hey Charlie, I've passed a LEED Grain Associate. I want to take one of the Tier 2 LEED exams. Which one do you suggest? A lot of times I suggest the ID plus C because there's a lot of BD plus C professionals out there, but ID plus C has some very similar concepts. But if you do any interiors work, commercial interiors, make sure you take a look at that credential exam. ND, there's about 900 LEED AP ND. We're seeing a lot of growth with the ND rating system and the ND professional count. And finally, one of my favorites, LEED AP O plus M, about 3,000 of those professionals out there have chosen to specialize in greening existing building stock. So please keep in mind, yes, we have some legacy LEED APs, but we have a lot of professionals that need that latest and greatest continuing education. You can get that a few different ways, but here at GBES.com, we make it really easy for you. We have some complete bundles or some pick your own. So please take a look and make sure you think of GBES throughout your entire career, not just passing an exam, which are tough, and our practice tests and our study tools are amazing, just like the real exam, but don't forget us for your continuing education as well. All right, a few more statistics. Let's keep going. Of those professionals that have opted in, that are going to keep up their LEED credentials, naturally there's a lot, the biggest percentage are architects. But then we followed up with MEP engineers, contractors, project managers, commission agents, consultants, on down that list, building product manufacturers. So if you think about all the professionals out there in this kind of LEED education world, we've got some really good statistics we wanted to share with you. As you can see, the need to bring some of the smaller count, let's just say, building engineers, chief engineers that run our commercial buildings, and our facility managers compared to, say, our architects. Since LEED for existing buildings is growing so much, I am teaching a lot of classes at BOMA and IFMA and some trade organizations that really focus on how do we get more of our existing building engineers, property managers, chief engineers to know the latest and greatest with LEED, with green buildings, and with wellness. And so I'm teaching a lot of classes there. So I'm excited to see the numbers across these different professions grow, but wanted to show this graphic just so you know where we're at right now, who has had to opt into some of the latest numbers when it comes to our continuing education and our partnership with the USGBC. GBES is a partner with the USGBC on the education front. All right, next we're going to talk about wellness real estate. I've literally been traveling the country and a little beyond teaching about WELL and the well building standard, and actually FitWell, another program in this what I'm calling wellness real estate movement. Green buildings are going strong. We want to save energy, save water. We want to go for LEED certifications where appropriate. At the end of the day, though, it nets out to it's better for the environment. But what's happened, and yes, you've heard me say it before, the next chapter of this green building movement is wellness real estate. Let's take a look at some of the WELL statistics right now. Remember, you can go to wellcertified.com. The folks at IWBI, the International Well Building Institute, actually based in New York, headquartered in New York, but also have staff members in DC and around the world. Awesome team, by the way. At IWBI, they keep this website updated pretty much daily. So go to wellcertified.com. Let's just talk high level about WELL. Make sure your projects, if ever asked, are we well ready? What would we have to do one day to go for a WELL certification? That's where I'm going to challenge you first. We've got a lot of great education. Maybe you want to go for your WELL AP. Yes, it's 100 questions, multiple choice. We've got some amazing exam prep and practice tests and flashcards that can help you pass that exam. You have to learn a lot about health statistics, okay? But I think it's a lot of fun. And I passed the WELL AP. I'm a WELL faculty. I love teaching everyone about the WELL building standard. So right now, WELL is continuing to grow. You're going to see a little bit about WELL version 2. I just mentioned in this video LEED. We're on LEED version 4 or LEED version 4.1, 18 years worth of LEED. We've got about 3.5, 4 years really of WELL and the WELL building standard. And the team at IWBI is very excited and proud to have announced WELL version 2. And so what's happened is that's been announced. If you have any projects that you want to go for a WELL building certification, you can actually go ahead and follow WELL version 2. Trying to get all buildings in, tenant improvements, existing buildings, new construction, core and shell, and we can modify that WELL scorecard a little bit more, actually a lot more than we could have with WELL version 1. So right now, I want you to know you have options. If you're thinking of a WELL certification, you can do WELL version 1 that we've had, and it's been tweaked every quarter with some addenda, or there's WELL version 2, which may be more accommodating to your building or your tenant improvement. So take a look at wellcertified.com. Understand WELL is growing. WELL version 2 has been announced. You can take a look at it. You won't be forced to use WELL version 2 probably for another year plus, but it's a good program. I like the adjustments that the team at IWBI is making. But here's what I really want you to know as part of today's video. Because today's video is about industry stats. Where are we at? A little over halfway through 2018. What do you need to know? That's one thing I think I'm good at, is giving you the cliff notes. And so here's a cliff note. If you scroll all the way down on wellcertified.com, what are the numbers? Okay, right now there's 3,298 WELL APs that passed the test. There's another 2,300 that have registered to take the WELL AP exam. So that's over 5,000 WELL professionals in the making or have been out there in the workplace implementing WELL and the WELL building standard. On the project side, 109 projects done, WELL plaque on the wall, 840 registered in the hopper. Now right now, the WELL building standard and WELL version 1 is really becoming more and more popular with tenant build-outs, with new core and shell construction, and there are some existing buildings around the world going through the WELL building certification. But right now we're seeing a lot of popularity. If you scroll all the way down, you click on projects, you can see in your state, your country, who's doing well, who's registered, but who's certified. Are there nice case studies there? Yes. Right now we're seeing a lot of momentum with tenant improvements, some sizable tenant improvements, and core and shell. Okay, so the WELL building standard, going strong. It is the premier wellness program right now. But let's take a look at another program. We wouldn't be doing you justice if we didn't let you know about Fitwel, Fitwel. So if you go to fitwell.org, fitwel.org, take a look at this program that's a CDC and a GSA program, okay? Well, we've got the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, so much medical research behind that performance base. Send someone out to do actual testing of your lighting and your air quality. Amazing program there. The bar's been set pretty high and well, can be a little costly depending on the size and type of your building. It can scale down, though, on cost for tenant improvements in core and shell in its current form, and we're going to keep an eye on those costs. But the more education that's out there, the cost will come down. What is well? Oh, it's not that bad here, here, and here, but it's really tough here. We've just got to get the education out there. Again, I'm enjoying teaching about well and Fitwell very much. Let's take a little look at Fitwell. So Fitwell, fitwell.org, this CDC program, and now this program is actually governed and implemented, and the certifications come from the Center for Active Design. And so what I want you to know is Fitwell is a good fit for existing multi-tenant office buildings right now. That's where we're seeing a lot of growth. I've got clients in New York City and San Francisco and other areas that are doing Fitwell as their answer right now to wellness real estate. And then maybe we go for well as appropriate when appropriate. But in an existing multi-tenant office building right now, it might be a tough fit for well. There are some options, but I want to let you know about Fitwell. You can do Fitwell on just your existing tenant space and some other types of products, some other types of buildings. So if we go to fitwell.org, a couple things. A Fitwell ambassador is an advocate. You really understand this wellness program. You're going to advocate for it. You've taken an online test and some learning, and in your area, you're going to really teach and advocate for Fitwell. So Fitwell ambassador is for you, the person, you, the professional. And then the Fitwell certification, if you scroll down just a little bit on fitwell.org, there are 95 certified projects, another 600 committed, and you can just take a look at the number of people. Because with the Fitwell program, we really want to encourage everyone to get up, be more active, have access to, a walkable area. You get more points for your walk score at your building. We want to be able to access a nearby park. We want to make sure we're promoting, hydration and nutrition and a lot of other things, but we actually get additional credit at our buildings for safety and defibrillators on every floor. So it's a great program. Take a look. Some of my clients are liking Fitwell because there's no prerequisites and the cost is a flat rate cost. So let's take a look. We're going to have some other education coming up about well versus Fitwell. You can take a look and register for that webinar. But the cliff notes would be wellness real estate. It's happening. The two programs are growing, well, and the well building standard, Fitwell, and a Fitwell certification, 1, 2, or 3 stars on the Fitwell side. And lastly, I always want to make sure you're looking at gbci.org. Let's take a look at their website. Remember, the US GBC invented LEED, keeps it updated. The International Well Building Institute has inherited the well building standard and keeps it updated. I've taught you a little bit about Fitwell. You need to learn more there, but now it's the Center for Active Design that keeps it updated, and they actually certify their buildings. But for LEED and well projects, there's GBCI. Remember, Green Business Certification, Inc., gbci.org. They give out our LEED exams, and they certify our projects, LEED and well. Okay, so they're the certifying body. But take a look at their website. Make sure you're scrolling through periodically and taking a look at their other programs like True and trying to get to zero waste, like Parksmart. Let's take a look. Edge in developing countries. GBES on our portfolio real estate reporting. So many other programs here. Sustainable sites. Keep an eye on those. Yes, the premier programs, the most certifications are happening under LEED, well, Fitwell, but keep an eye on some of these other really good programs you may be able to apply to some of your projects and to your business. So this was just kind of a little over halfway through 2018, Cliff Notes from Charlie to you, from my team to yours. What do you need to know? What's happening out there with the green building movement? Thanks so much, and let us know if you need anything at all.